Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my latest video on how to get back with your ex. Now, if you are hoping to get a second chance with somebody you broke up with, well, this video is for you. Now, I, of course, am Brad Browning, author of the best-selling X Factor program. And in this video, I'll be sharing one of the most effective psychological techniques that you can use in order to win back your ex. Now, this tip is based on something that I'm sure you've heard about before, reverse psychology. Now, reverse psychology is extremely helpful if you want to reverse your breakup. In fact, it's actually pretty much essential. Now, before I explain why and how to use it to win back your ex, let's just quickly define what reverse psychology means. Basically, in a nutshell, it means convincing someone to do something by telling them not to do it. So one example would be to say something like, there's no way you can clean the whole house in an hour. Now, I'm telling you not to attempt to finish cleaning the house in an hour, which is probably going to make you try harder to do so just to prove me wrong. Parents love to use reverse psychology with their kids. You probably remember hearing stuff like, fine, you don't need to do your chores. You probably don't need your allowance this week anyway. Or, it's probably better if you don't clean your room. That girl you're having over later should probably see how messy you really are. Now, those types of things obviously work well with children, and they're pretty common in everyday life, even among adults. But it's the subtler forms of reverse psychology that are going to help you win your ex back. In fact, the biggest way to use this tactic is to make your ex believe you're feeling the exact opposite of what you actually are. So for example, if your ex were to think that you had absolutely zero interest in getting back together, don't you think that would make him or her wonder why? And in some cases, that thought can be really scary for your ex because they might be planning on using you, as a backup plan that they can fall back on if they don't like being single or they don't find someone new. And when your ex sees that you're not going to accept that or hears that you're moving on, it's often going to make him or her reach out to you and try and reestablish a connection, which, of course, is your true goal. So that's one really basic example of reverse psychology that you'll probably want to put into practice right now. Now, to put a different spin on things, you can also use the same idea to make your ex think that you're quickly moving on to bigger and better things since the breakup. So if he or she were to text you and ask you to, just hang out as friends this weekend, you could say something like, no, sorry, I've got plans with my friend this weekend. And that in itself is actually a sort of reverse psychology. Your ex is going to want to hang out with you even more, knowing that he or she can't or that you don't want to. Now, some people would call this type of stuff, mind games. And I guess technically it is because you're using reverse psychology to trick your ex into thinking something or doing something that you want them to do. But really, it's not malicious, at least not in my opinion. And it's the only really truly effective way to win back your ex in most cases. You can't really ever tell your ex you want them back because that usually just makes matters worse. And you have to change their mind and make getting back together their idea, which of course is the end goal of using reverse psychology in the first place. I'm sure you've heard the saying, you always want what you can't have. And honestly, that pretty much sums up the way that you can reuse reverse psychology to win back your ex. You give the impression that you're too busy with your exciting new life to care about your ex. You make it seem like you're indifferent about the idea of ever meeting up with them. You show your ex that you're a hot commodity, not a desperate loser. Now, guys, I don't suggest that you should be actually lying about that kind of stuff. You should actually be doing those things while you also try to win back your ex. Going out on dates, keeping busy, making positive changes to your life. But at the end of the day, it's all essentially reverse psychology. And it works like magic when you use it properly. I've seen thousands of clients use these tactics to completely change their ex's mind about the breakup and crawl back to them begging for another chance. So the verdict is, reverse psychology definitely does work as a way to win back your ex. Let me know your take on reverse psychology in the comments below the video, or if you have a question for me, just go ahead and drop it in the comments as well. I will do my best to get back to you. And if you need my personal help to guide you through your particularly difficult or unique breakup situation, just go to breakupbrad.com/coaching, where you can see my current coaching availability and sign up right now. All right, that's it for this one. I want to keep it short. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and watching all the way to the end. Good luck using reverse psychology, and I hope you win your ex back. See you next time.